From worst to first in the AFC East, the Patriots complete an improbable season with their eyes on the biggest prize of all. Also ahead, in only his second year, was Drake Maye's excellence enough to win him the league's most valuable player? And we'll do a deep dive on the Patriots' first-round opponent, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals.
I love watching you guys celebrate. I love watching you guys play. The tournament has begun.
Hey, it's win or go home now. Played our identity like Jig said, man. I like us, man. Pass on me, pass on three. 1, 2, 3. Hey!
That was the scene in the Patriots locker room after the Patriots completed one of the greatest turnarounds in NFL history. Let the playoffs begin. Hello again, everyone. I'm Alex Francisco, and this is Patriots Unfiltered on TV. The Patriots started quickly against the Dolphins, stumbled, and then took care of business in a dominating second half. So how well positioned are the Pats for the Super Bowl tournament? Let's huddle up now with Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault. After 2 consecutive 4-win seasons, the New England Patriots have closed out the regular season 14-3 with a win over the Dolphins. But now it's the playoffs, where every single team is 0-0. Paul, Deuce, I really believe it was great to see them the last couple games of the regular season establish that run game and balance out the offense to make a push, right? So what positives came out of this one for you?
How about Ramondre Stevenson, 3 touchdowns? That's a good place to start. He's been outstanding these last couple weeks coming down the stretch, and I think he's exactly what this team needed.
But I would say the health up front, too. You get Will Campbell back. Hopefully, Jared Wilson, not too far behind here. But Ben Brown's done a really good job. You found out you had some depth with Vidarian Lowe. So I think that development up front, the physicality that those guys showed, you're using Thayer Mumford as an extra tight ends now on a frequent basis. So just that overall physicality, because I think, Alex, in the playoffs, in bad weather, in the cold, that travels. I know it's a cliche, but when you can just, bow up and be out-physicaling the defense that you're playing against, I think that's really important at this time of year.
Oh, for sure. And just to put a bow on the regular season, we could see a handful of Patriots up for end-of-season individual awards. I think most impressive would probably be Drake Maye winning league MVP in his second year. How realistic is that? After it's all said and done now, what do we think? Did he do enough?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely realistic. I just think it's amazing that he got to this point. Just so much credit to Drake Maye, to Josh McDaniels, to Mike Vrabel, everybody that made this happen, but mostly Drake Maye because his poise in the pocket, his development with ball security, not turning the ball over, not having those Maye sprays, and then just the biggest thing to me, downfield accuracy. I mean, there's just nothing better in a quarterback when he's picking defenses apart down the field. It's so hard to stop. He's been so good this year. I think he's the MVP.
His overall development has been eye-opening, just to see how much more comfortable he is, not from last year to this year, from September to now, to me is night and day. I think he absolutely deserves to be MVP. That's no disrespect to Matthew Stafford. Mike,
your guy.
You love him.
I like Matthew Stafford. I think he had a tremendous year. If Stafford wins it, I'm not going to cry foul. My pick would be Maye.
The voting committee needs to know that despite your love for Stafford, you're still with Maye, and maybe that'll sway some more
He's putting
people.
his biases aside.
Stafford probably needs to know it, too.
You should probably write him a letter.
Write him a handwritten note. Let's turn the page to the Chargers. We're on to L.A. They'll be here for primetime Sunday night. We figured it might shake out this way, but what was your initial reaction to finding out that's who the Patriots are seeing first?
Good, because that's who I was doing work on last week and starting to get ready for. So it seemed like signs were pointing to that. You got to start with Justin Herbert, though, and what's his hand look like? I know he's been banged up. He didn't play in Week 18, but he's the same kind of mold of Drake Maye, a big, athletic quarterback with a big arm who can make all the throws and can run a little bit as well. So, to me, a lot of these games in the playoffs, they're just going to come down to which quarterback plays better, and the Chargers got a good one.
This is not going to be an easy game. I think this is. I think people are going to look at it as, a California Dome team coming east, playing at night in the cold, game set match. I don't think that's the style that the Chargers play. They play kind of like a Northeast, in that style of Jim Harbaugh, like where he came from Michigan in the national championship. That's how they want to play. They want to run the ball and they want to punch you in the mouth.
They're without Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater all season. Has the Patriots defense pressured the quarterbacks enough this season?
Rested Harold Landry the last couple weeks, hoping he could get some of that burst back that he had earlier in the season. Caleb on Chase on, even Elijah Ponder. That's the key matchup to me. Herbert, his numbers dip when he's under pressure, and certainly in the middle of the season when they were going through all that turmoil at the tackle spot, you saw that in a couple of the game results, especially against Jacksonville, where he was just under duress the whole time. Can the Patriots generate that kind of pressure? It's a huge question.
Can they get pressure off the edges? I have my doubts about that. I don't think the Patriots have done a great job of putting pressure on the passer all year. We'll see if it can be a little bit different if maybe they dial some stuff up, knowing the Chargers' struggles up front.
We got Milton Williams back against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get Landry, Spillane, Tonga, and just kind of bring that group that was so strong to start the year back playing together. How big will their availability be?
It's hard to just assume that those guys are going to come right back in. Boom, didn't miss a beat. Loved getting Milton Williams back last week to get him going a little bit. To Paul's point about the pass rush, I certainly think that Milton Williams helps, and that also frees up Christian Barmore a little bit more. But it's going to be one of those years where you get to that Sunday night game, you look out on the field on the defense, all right, who is it, and are they ready to go and play at that level?
To me, the big X factor would be Spillane, because he's been out for so long. I don't know exactly, A, where he is physically, and B, what he's going to look like in terms of picking things up and knocking the rust off and whatnot, because he is a pretty versatile and important guy in the middle of the defense. But if they could get him back at close to 100%, I think that would be a huge lift for the defense.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Herbert's favorite 3 targets, Vlad McConkey, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson. How do you anticipate the Patriots secondary targets those guys?
I think we both agree on Lab McConkey with Marcus Jones. That's a pretty good matchup.
Sure.
There's not a size advantage really with Lab McConkey. And, it's just really the question on the outside of the veteran Keenan Allen, who seems to be kind of one of those go-to guys that got to have at moment. You think Herbert's probably going to look his way. And, Quentin Johnson has really come into his own. Big guy, downfield threat. He can stretch the field. So, how they divide up Gonzalez and Davis, that's a good question.
Yeah, and then, Mike and I ultimately, settled on the fact that they'll probably end up playing more zone than we're expecting anyway. So we're going to break down all these matchups. But, my thought was just that the speed with Gonzalez and Johnston would be a little bit more compatible, and the physicality with Keenan Allen and Carlton Davis. But I could absolutely see it being the other way around. The one key here is the tight end, which has been, no matter who it is, has given the Patriots problems all season long. Orlando Gadsden is a guy who's come on in the second half of the year. That's going to put some stress on that back end with the safeties. And this is a team that has some weapons, not necessarily one guy to focus on, but more of a spread out attack with those wideouts. So this is going to be a challenge for the secondary.
Looking at the Chargers defense, though, what makes you nervous for the Pats, and what do you think they could take advantage of?
Derwin James makes me nervous. This is, I think, their 4th most in interceptions. So they make plays on the ball. They play a lot of zone defense. So I think they're going to, try to keep things in front of them. They're not going to let Drake Maye kind of catch them sleeping and have a big gain that way. But they're 2 ends as well, and that's going to be a big challenge for Will Campbell coming back 1 game under his belt. But those edge rushers and big bodies inside too, you're going to have to try to move those guys around. Yeah,
it's a physical group. They want to, they've been pretty stout all year defensively. They play predominantly zone, so they're not going to be like in your face. They might give you some gaps, but that might also limit Drake Maye's ability to run if they're not playing as much man as some other teams do. So the chess match here, and Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, came with Harbaugh from Michigan, has had a lot of success. He's a guy getting some attention as a head coaching candidate in this carousel. So this is another one. I have some respect for the Chargers that I don't think a lot of Patriots fans have. I think this is a pretty good team.
Still to come on Patriots Unfiltered on TV. The NFL playoff picture and what's ahead if the Patriots can advance. Evan Lazar breaks down what to watch for when the Chargers come to Gillette. Trash Talk debates what the Patriots' biggest concerns are now that the playoffs have arrived. Fred Kirsch on how the AFC Championship is anyone's for the taking. And I'll go one-on-one with Patriots offensive lineman Will Campbell.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots. And by Sports Illustrated Tickets. 50 million sports concerts and theater tickets, 0 fees. Fans deserve better. Visit sitickets.com today.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
What's up, everybody? It's Evan Lazar. Welcome into the Unfiltered TV film room. Special edition, playoff edition. against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday night. Let's talk a little bit about this Chargers defense and what Drake Maye is going to go up against in the wild card round. The Chargers, as you can see on this play right here, they play a lot of 4-deep zone or quarters coverage. So you have those 4 deep defenders at the top of the screen right there. But what they do with those defenders is they match a lot of these routes. So what the Texans do is they're going to run these crossing routes in the middle of the field. If we roll the play here just a little bit, and these intersecting crossing routes are going to cause the Chargers to latch on to those receivers in the middle of the field. And if you look at the bottom of the screen right there, that's Jaden Higgins, the rookie wide receiver for Houston, going up against Dante Jackson. And you can see that they're both on an island together, nobody in the middle of the field to help Jackson. We finish out the play here, and you can see CJ Stroud just go right over the top of quarters. If you want to beat this coverage, go over the top of it, hit that backside receiver on those big posts. I'm sure Drake Maye will be looking for the deep ball when he sees quarters coverage on Sunday night. I'm Evan Lazar.
The NFL playoff picture is set. As we know, the Patriots will host the Chargers on Sunday Night Football, with the Denver Broncos securing the 1 seed in the AFC. Paul, Mike, which of these AFC playoff teams are most intimidating?
I guess I got to stick with Buffalo still. I know that they had their issues this year, but I just looked at the quarterback, and I've seen Josh Allen do way too many crazy things in my career covering this team to write them off.
They are all very similar teams in that I think that when, Jacksonville, Houston, the Chargers, when they're playing their best football, I think they're capable of playing with anybody. At their best, I think any of these teams is capable of winning, and we've seen the Patriots, what do they win, 13 of the last 14 or whatever it was? Who's the scariest? I don't know if any of them are any more scary than the Patriots are.
Of all the teams left in the conference that the Patriots could see, what do you guys see as maybe the path of least resistance to the AFC Championship?
Yeah, I would just starts with staying at home, and whether that's, Buffalo goes and knocks off Denver and has to come here for the AFC Championship. But, really, I think I'm looking at the flip between Jacksonville and Houston. And, Jacksonville, I think, is playing one of the best in all the teams in the AFC right now. They're really peaking at the right time of year. Can they carry that over? Love to see them have to come up here. But, at the same time, Houston, another team with great defense. And, CJ Stroud, we'll see what they have.
Playing the winner of the Houston-Pittsburgh game would be the path of least resistance, and then I would give you an opportunity, if Buffalo were to win in Denver, to host the AFC Championship game. That would be the path of least resistance. Will it happen that way? I hope so, because I got to tell you something, I don't really want to see Jacksonville in the second round. I think Jacksonville's got it going on. And if they were to beat Buffalo, sort of get some of that playoff experience for Trevor Lawrence, he only has a couple of games under his belt, I think that would become a dangerous team.
How about you, Mike? What's a team that, please get them away? You don't want to see
Well,
them.
it's Buffalo for him. You don't want to see Josh Allen.
And look, I got to love-hate, because on one hand, I'm terrified of that just because I really respect them. I'd be scared, but I think it'll be a fantastic matchup. There'd be a ton of juice for that third matchup, and these two teams know each other really well. It'd be another classic.
Alex is too young, so she doesn't know, the crusty journalists would say, you always root for the story. And the story is what Mike is saying.
Yeah.
Round 3 of Drake Maye against Josh Allen. That would be the best story, but I really don't want to see that.
We don't want to see it as Patriots fans, but I think around the league, that'd be something, right?
For sure. And I mean, if I'm a Buffalo fan, I'd be like, oh, shoot, we got to go back to New England. We beat them once there. Can we do it again? And look, Buffalo won 5 straight division titles before the Patriots took it back this year, but it would really be a chance for the Patriots to cement their place as the up-and-comer in the AFC East.
I'm now joined in the studio by Patriots offensive tackle Will Campbell. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You had a birthday this week.
I did.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
How did you celebrate?
I took a 4-hour nap.
A 4-hour nap?
That's how I celebrated. I didn't do much,
No good meal?
I went to Moo, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my second time. It was pretty good.
You really made the rounds on the Boston restaurant scene, huh?
Yeah, I've been to a few. There's still a couple more that I need to go to, but I've been to some good ones so far. Where I'm from, we have one Italian restaurant, so this is a lot more than I'm used to.
A little spoiled.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's okay, the carbs are good. You gotta burn that energy out for the game, right?
Yep.
Now, you haven't been in the NFL a full season yet, but you have already delivered some of the most iconic quotes I've ever heard, of course, notably on draft night.
You are brought to New England to protect Drake Maye.
I'm gonna fight and die to protect him with everything I've got.
Do you kind of think about these one-liners before you talk to media, or are you an off-the-cuff guy?
No, I mean, honestly, I say it right off my head. People were asking me about like the fight and die stuff, and I don't know, I just had a lot of emotions running that night. It was an emotional night, and that's what came to my mind.
I think it's a good thing you did, because I think a lot of people, maybe if they were on the fence with you, that sealed the deal.
No, yeah, no doubt.
You earned a lot of fans that day. Seems like you clicked instantly with Drake Maye as well. Would you say that's true, or?
Yeah, I mean, we're good friends. I was very outspoken to this organization that I wanted to block for him before, you know, the draft and things like that. And, you know, I'm just super glad that it's been able to work out that way. Him and his wife, you know, they have me over all the time, which I'm very thankful for. But no, I mean, Drake's family, him, his wife, they're all great people.
You guys have just been on such an incredible run. What was it like to have to sit out and miss games? Did that just totally eat you apart?
Yeah, it was terrible. You know, that was the first time I ever missed games in my life. So, you know, watching from the sideline is not fun. But, you know, whenever I first went down, the first thing I thought about was that I was done for the year. I automatically thought the worst when they started grabbing at my knee. So, you know, no matter how long I was, you know, had to sit out, I was just grateful and thankful that I was able to come back at some point. It makes you, you know, not take anything for granted, especially whenever, you know, the game's never been taken away from you before.
Yeah.
You know, when it happens, you kind of don't know what to do with yourself for a little bit. But, you know, I'm just glad to be back.
And at a great time. You guys are getting ready for the playoffs. Any nerves there, or are you trying to stay even keel?
Nah, I mean, I stay pretty even keel. I mean, game day, you obviously get anxious and just excited to go, but, you know, I'm just worried about tomorrow's practice.
There you go. All right, well, we hope you do good at tomorrow's practice as well as on Sunday. Best of luck. And we'll be back with more Patriots Unfiltered on TV after the break.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots, and by Sports Illustrated Tickets, 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. Same seats, better prices. Fans deserve better.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
The experts are saying the AFC tournament is wide open. I agree. Except maybe Pittsburgh. Broncos, Jags, Texans, Bills, Chargers, and of course the Patriots. Every team has its strengths that could send them to the Super Bowl, as well as weaknesses that could end their season. The Patriots and Bills have the best QBs. The Broncos and Texans have the edge in defense. The Chargers and Jags, well, they might be the most well-rounded teams. All the teams have good coaching, although McDermott and Buffalo might be feeling the most pressure. With the field so level, these games are going to come down to a handful of plays. As Mike Vrabel stresses, be a team that can take advantage of bad football and avoid the stuff that loses games. Turnovers, injuries, communication breakdowns. These are the difference makers when all else is even. Of course, there's officiating. We can only hope it's not a difference maker, but if history is any indicator, we know at some point we'll be screaming at the TV. Teams will need to overcome whatever injustice they suffer. The old rallying cry, "Why not us?" has never been more appropriate than for this year's AFC hopefuls.
One absolute truth of the NFL, the postseason is far different than the regular season. So when it comes to Patriots' success in the playoffs, is the biggest concern injury, inexperience, or another factor? Paul and Mike debate what their biggest fears are in this week's Trash Talk.
All right, Paul, no surprise for me, but my concern is the defense. And there's been a lot of injuries here at the end of the season, starting with Robert Spillane, who's been out for almost a month now, Kyrus Tonga, who's been in and out, and of course Harold Landry, who they've been resting the last couple weeks. To me, the kryptonite is get pressure on Justin Herbert, attack these backup tackles that he has in there, but I just don't know if they can get that pressure, if they can get the disruption that's necessary to slow this guy down.
Mike, you know me. I have all kinds of concerns. This is what I do. I worry about everything. I absolutely agree with you about the defense. The pass rush has been a problem really all year, but I'm just going to be different. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball because I think everything you said about the defense, they're all valid concerns. So the lack of experience, I have faith in Drake Maye. I know he's never been there before, but you never quite know what to expect. until a guy is in that environment. So how he handles it, how the rookies up front handle it, how the pass protection is, and can they stay balanced? I've been really impressed with Ramondre Stevenson, the way he's played down the stretch. I think he had 6 touchdowns over the last month of the season. If that can continue, I'll feel a lot better. That's kind of what I'm banking on. But until I see it, it's got to be a concern.
I just think turnovers are going to be critical. It's a real hard thing to try to get that consistent pressure. I like Milton Williams being back. I like that part of it. I think he can free Barmore up. He can make some things happen on the interior and even a little bit off of the edge as well. But to me, this game is just every time the Patriots are able to get a stop or a turnover, force a punt, any of that kind of stuff, I think it's a huge advantage to them. But I think it's going to be really hard to come by those.
These playoff games a lot of times come down to a handful of plays. 3rd and 1 defensively, even 4th down on both sides. They haven't really been able to just run the ball and pick up those short yardage plays with any degree of consistency. It's always been Drake Maye. Same thing on the other side of the ball. The other team doesn't seem to get get stopped a lot in those short yardage situations. Those are huge. Those take points off the board potentially. Who comes up with the big plays? Again, another concern, because I don't think the Patriots have been great in those situations. Red zone defense, another one. Those are some things. These are things that keep me up at night. I'm worried about everything.
It's the playoffs. The intensity is ratcheted up. And do we think that the Patriots are going to overcome these concerns we have against the Chargers? Stay tuned for predictions after the break.
Now back to Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
This weekend will make for the 5th postseason matchup between the Patriots and the Chargers, with New England dropping just 1. Hopefully, that trend continues this weekend. The Pats are 3.5-point favorites at home against Los Angeles, and the over-under is 46.5. Deuce, will New England season continue after Sunday?
I see a back-and-forth affair, and I don't know if it's going to be quite a track meet, but as I said in our last segment, I think Patriots defense is going to struggle to get some pressure on Justin Herbert. I expect him to be better than he was last year, but I can't go against the Patriots here at home. I'm going to go Patriots 33-31.
Okay.
I think the Patriots have just enough at home. I think the home crowd is ready for a playoff game. And I know it sounds silly, how spoiled can we get? I think the Patriots have just enough. I have the faith that Drake Maye in his first postseason game will be up to the challenge. I got New England 31-27.
Paul, I think this is the second time we've done this.
Okay.
Same score.
So we will both be wrong.
31-27. Pats roll, or we'll both be right.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. Either way, that's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered on TV. As always, you can catch the 3 of us on Patriots Unfiltered on Patriots.com from noon to 2 p.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. For Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, I'm Alex Francisco. We'll see you next week, we hope.